God damn it, Jamie.
It's fine.
How did it go off?
I don't know. It was on.
It was on because I asked you.
I know. It was on. It was on. It was red. I don't know how it went green. It's fine.
I wonder if it recorded
Welcome
anything.
to the Ugly Truth. We are here and we are doing this. I have traffic school and there's and there's a time limit. There's a time limit for every freaking chapter.
Yes.
And this is all of my own fault, by the way. This is because I refuse to go to court and plead my case. I don't care. I didn't care anymore.
You just wanted to get it over with.
I want to get it over with. So I'm making the payment plan. I'm taking the traffic school that I have now 8 days to complete, which I thought I had forever to do.
Yeah.
But there's a time limit.
And it's forever. And it's like 5-6 hours.
Yeah. Is that how 340
Well,
minutes?
120 is 2 hours.
Okay, so
240 is 4.
I think it's 6 hours. You're
Yeah,
right.
that's a long freaking
You know
time.
why I know that now? Because when I logged in and I started taking, and they're like, no, you don't get to blow through this. You have to like pass every chapter, and you have to have a certain amount of time per chapter.
Right.
There's a little clock up in the right-hand corner that shows you how much time you have left and what percentage of it you are.
Yeah.
So in 2 days,
takes
I've
so
done
long.
like 20%.
Oh my God.
So I'm like, okay, fine.
Now, are the questions hard questions that you couldn't figure out on your own, or do you really have to read the shit?
You have to read it because the questions are based on the stuff. It's just like high school where the stuff you need to know is highlighted.
Well, is it
So like the answers are in red or black.
yeah. Is it,
You know what I mean?
is it multiple choice?
Yes.
Oh, because see, with multiple choice, I can kind of figure it out. Like I pretty much know.
So first of all, first chapter, and I completed it. They're like, okay, now you can take your quiz. And I'm like, okay, cool. So did I read it? No. I mean, I kind of glazed over the highlighted
did you
stuff.
not pass?
No, I passed. But what was funny is they said, car accidents cost nearly $1 trillion a year when it comes medical insurance claims, all damage, everything. And I'm like, okay, so how much money does it cost in accidents every year? It was $1 trillion. So I said $1 trillion. I got it wrong.
Why?
And they said, you answered this wrong because the answer is 99 billion. And I'm like, it never said 99 billion in anything, but it said nearly $1 trillion.
Oh my God. So
Stephanie.
It's a trick question.
And at that point, I'm like, I need a teacher. This is
I
unfair.
would almost rather sit in a classroom listening to a person lecture than that.
I was furious because there's no way to fight it.
Can't get out of it.
But I'm like, all right, fine. I got a freaking C. And I'm like, God damn it.
As long as you pass, who cares?
I know,
but I know what you mean.
It's the principle of the thing.
I failed one because I refused to read it. I was listening to TikTok while it was playing, and then I looked at it. I was like, oh, I know the answer. It's like, wrong. I'm like, what? Yeah. Wait, I can only get one more wrong. Wrong. I'm like, fuck.
So, and I don't know what happens if I don't pass it. I still have to go back.
You have to do it again.
Yeah. So then the other thing I discovered on another chapter was they know that you're not going to sit there and read for 10 minutes because you don't really need to.
Right.
So at the end of the chapter, they have videos you can watch for 4 and 5 minutes.
Oh.
So I just press play and go and get something to drink or whatever. So I get the time in, so I'm not just sitting there like an idiot.
Right.
So I'm like, well, that was smart. I'm glad they did that. That's a nice little bonus.
Right.
So I take the test and I can't remember. So I'm like, oh, I don't remember. So I go back to the chapter to read it again, because I didn't read it. And so when I go back to the quiz, all new questions.
You bastard. It's like, what?
They're not allowing you to
They are
cheat.
not fucking around.
No. And I was like, what is this? Heresy. And so then I'm like, fine. So
I'll read it.
So
I screenshotted
so many pages.
Yeah, that's what Veronica and I figured out.
So then I'm taking the third quiz and I'm like, okay, and they're the easiest things,
I know.
really. But because it's so
You just don't want to do it.
it's so splitting hairs that if you answer it and they're like, no, it's not 10, it's 10.5.
And see, that's the thing. You know what?
It's
DMV
mean.
does this to you when
They
you have
do.
to take your written test.
Yes, they do.
The answers are so close and so
Yes.
similar to what the right one is that you're almost taking a chance.
Right. So
I hate it. Why?
I don't know. Why don't they want you to pass? It's so dumb.
I don't
so
know.
anyway, there was
Safety
one.
first.
So there's this one, and it's about having space around your car. And I'm like, okay, well, obviously I know. And so there's 7 areas of space around your car.
Okay.
For a million tedious reasons, but I couldn't remember if it was 6 or 7. God. I go to Google and I'm like, areas of space around your car. And it immediately pops up, there are 7. I'll go, okay, so it was 7. So I hit 7. I get to the answers like, oh, congratulations, you got 80%. The one you got wrong was there's only 6. I'm like, bullshit. It's bullshit. You're fucking lying.
Right? Everybody else says 7.
And it said 7 in the text, but if I go back and check, I get new quiz answer questions.
And I'm not doing that again.
And I don't want to do it. So as much as, and this is how competitive I am. This is what makes me mad. When I didn't get 100% on that, I was really mad.
Were you tempted to take it again?
No, but I was just furious. I'm like, this is unfair. But then at that point, I'm like, what do I care? Like, just get through it.
Yes, get it over with.
Who cares?
It costs you money to sit there and waste your time.
Yes, it does. And so then...
That's furious.
So then, you know what? I'm like, I'm stopping for the day. I can't do this anymore. I can't do it anymore. I don't have it in me. So... Right. It was then that I realized why I barely graduated high school. Jimmy. I mean, I didn't barely graduate. I graduated fine. I mean, but I was not in the top 10% of my graduating class.
Yeah.
And sitting here doing this is exactly why. I have a really bad attitude and I don't care.
Is this why you posted, I hate it when people tell me what to do online the other day? Well, it was actually a couple of weeks ago. You were like, I really hate being told what to do. It was like a one line and I can't remember what social media. Yeah, it was funny. I thought it was funny.
Maybe I did. I don't know.
Because I do too. I do too. I fucking hate being told what to do.
I immediately got such a rebellious attitude.
And I think you might have been going through this process because you're like, I hate that I'm having to do this and that I'm being told to do it. And I don't have a fucking choice. But
there was one line in there that really pressed me when I was reading through all this stupid material. And it said, physical reactions in a car to like hit your brake or whatever as a driver. They're like, drivers over the age of 50 have reduced reactionary skills.
Shut up.
And I'm like, excuse me?
Give me a break.
Excuse me? I'm like, I'm not only offended.
I'm offended.
I'm like, 50 is not what it used to be. I'm just not believing. I mean, y'all need to update because come on.
I mean, in every fucking decade or so, they readjust what they think they knew back then and what they know now. I'm like, if according to all the men's erectile dysfunction commercials I hear, you basically stop getting use out of your dick when you're like 25.
Oh yeah, suddenly
it used to be 60. Now all of a sudden it's like men start using that by age 30, and I'm like, bullshit.
By age 30, you lose your testosterone.
You don't even know what you're talking about. I'm like, God, don't listen to that shit.
It's lies.
It's all lies.
More lies.
Besides, we're not all cookie cutter human beings. Everybody's different.
I was just like 50.
Like my husband can't understand why we had one dog that was the same breed who died at 10, and we had another dog, same breed, that died at 13. He's like, he didn't even live his full life expectancy. I'm like, they don't die, just because it says it's a range. Yeah, I'm like, you don't know.
Honestly, if that were the case, my dogs would have been dead 5 years ago.
I'm like, and why do some humans live to be 100 and others die at 60?
Do you remember, and this was back in December, and it was on TikTok is really where I saw it, but it was a Royal Caribbean promotion where they were doing the 9-month cruise.
Oh.
Do you remember this? Okay. So 800 people agreed to be on a 9-month cruise.
Oh.
On Royal Caribbean. And they go to all ports. I think they're going to all their ports. And then it's going to end in September of this year.
Okay.
In the very beginning, there was a lot of influencer on there going, where we just started, it's a party. It's so exciting. Yeah. 9 months. I think this happened like a month or so ago. And she was checking in and she said, well, we're winding down. We're getting ready. She's like, there's about 750 of us left. People have left and for whatever reason, because it's probably very difficult.
Well, it's a long time and things happen.
Yeah. She goes, so there has been 2 deaths and 4 divorces in less than 6 months or 6 months, basically. Wow. And I'm like, well, the deaths are not surprising because that happens a lot.
It's just a percentage game.
Not to mention that the age range was older.
Yeah.
They skewed a bit older.
Well, because you have to be not working.
So what happens is, well, unless this is your job and you're doing this for a living. Unless it's your job,
but I imagine most people who are of working age wouldn't be able to take 9 months off.
I think 2 deaths in 6 months is pretty good. Because I've read where people said, I went to freaking Ensenada for 3 days and someone died.
Right.
It happened. It just happens.
It does happen.
But anyway, so there's like 750 left. The 4 divorces were actually quite surprising. But what happened is, so so one stayed and the other one left, basically.
Right.
Only one guy got arrested at a port where they just kicked him back onto the plane, back onto the boat. They're like, get out of here.
That's lucky.
But I'm like, fascinating. So I'm really hoping there's some kind of movie or documentary when this is all said and done.
Yeah.
Because it's so fascinating to me, the people who would do it.
Yeah.
Just to say they did it.
Somebody will.
I want to hear the stories.
Well, there are cruise ships that people live on.
I know.
And that's literally their full-time.
They're basically saying that the closed quarters is what's the hardest.
Yeah, probably.
Because you're never alone.
Yeah,
you're
that's true.
Never alone.
Unless you're in your room, right?
And even then, you're probably with somebody.
Well, with your spouse or whatever, yeah.
I'd be like, you have to leave.
Oh, yeah.
Stephanie, I wouldn't poop for 9 months. They'd have to airlift me out of there.
Well, those people who are living on those type of ships, those are like luxury. Like their rooms are suites. They're not like the
not
average.
all of them.
Well, I mean, you're probably right, but in my mind, I'm like, there's no other choice. Like, what? There's no way I would sleep in a twin cabin for the rest of my life.
I've been getting a lot of pressure from outside influences about going on a cruise.
Yeah, I know.
In the next few years, and the reality is that my gut tells me don't do it.
Really?
Then no, I'm not. I mean, right now it's a no for me. But even Daryl's like, well, I've heard to see Alaska, a cruise is the way to do it.
For sure, I've heard that too.
And I've heard that from
and
many
I probably
people.
would only do it that way.
Well,
I'm not going to fly there and stay in a hotel and freeze my ass off 24/7.
Well, it depends on when you go.
And what,
obviously.
hike around? I mean,
there's a lot of bears there.
That
There's
is
a lot of
not my,
moose.
that to me is like permanent camping. I would rather die.
I don't know anything about Alaska. I know it's very wild.
It is.
And even in the cities.
And amazing. Yeah,
I think it would be beautiful.
It is. It is one of the most beautiful places in the world.
So I saw real photos, not promo photos of an Alaskan cruise where they're like, oh, we went on this cruise, you know, they had renovated all the rooms, whatever. And it still didn't look great. But what scared me the most was they were standing on, because they got a suite, which they're not all that way.
Right.
They're like $10,000
Yeah, they're a lot. They're very
insanely
expensive.
expensive. So they're standing out on the deck, which was not renovated. They were taking photos of them on the water, and they're on one of the lower decks. It is just so deep looking and so vast, and
it's like space. Yeah,
it really was scary to me.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I don't know if I could do. What if a rogue wave came and just took you out? Like, the ocean is one of the most terrifying things in the world.
You know what, Jamie?
To me, it's the scariest thing on this planet.
Reoccurring dreams?
Stephanie, I had a dream the other day that I saw a hippo in the American River.
Okay, but
and I was looking down on it, and I'm like, I just said, I'm just so glad I'm up here so that he can't hurt me, because this is terrifying. It was underwater, and it was galloping because, you know, hippos kind of gallop in the water, and they're real fast. And I'm like, I didn't realize how large. And I'm like, I didn't realize how big hippos were. And I'm like, and I woke up
I've never seen a hippo. Wait, have we seen a hippo? Maybe in a zoo. I can't even think of me ever actually seeing
I don't think
one.
I've seen a hippo in real life.
I don't either.
They're so scary.
So I have reoccurring dreams
of water.
There's a handful of them.
Yeah, I have water dreams. They're emotionally based.
They're not all water dreams, but my reoccurring dreams, there's probably 5 or 6 different ones, and one of them is an ocean one.
Okay,
I have another one on a bridge. I have a variety of different reoccurring dreams.
I have a tsunami nightmare, and I've had it for years.
Mine, and then I have one that's kind of a combo of the bridge and the water of the ocean, and so that's the one that scares me the most.
Having anxiety.
Yeah, because it's like the ocean that's below the bridge is huge and like huge waves, like
tumultuous
waves that are not realistic in any way, shape, or form, right?
Course. Maverick waves.
Like so big,
scary.
Yeah, like to where they're coming over the top of a building that I'm in, but the bridge one is like me, and I think it comes from San Francisco, to be honest with you. I don't know why, because I'm never scared when I come to San Francisco on the bridges. No. I get a little uncomfortable sometimes, but like I get anxiety.
The only reason I do is because of the earthquake.
Maybe that's what
the only reason
or
why
the time
I ever
that we
get
broke down on it when we were little. Yes. I think that kind of triggers me a little bit.
That's very traumatic.
But but this dream is always me in a car and San Francisco's hilly. We all know that. But the bridge is so steep that the car almost can't has enough momentum to make it to the top. Mm-hmm. And it's so narrow.
Oh my God.
That you're literally like looking over the side to the giant waves
you need to look up this psychologically.
I've had it for years. I hate it. Well, it's the worst.
If you believe in dream interpretation, in the psychological way. Water is emotion.
Okay.
So like I have water dreams all the time. And when they're really tumultuous dreams, or like I'm stuck in a tidal wave that's coming, or or if the water's black and I'm stuck in it, you know.
See, I'm not usually in it. It's usually like coming at me though.
I've had dreams where I'm swimming and it's beautiful, like Hawaii blue, calm. No, and
then something bad happens.
No, it's good.
Oh, those
so
are good
and
ones.
I wake up and I'm like, oh wow, but I'm always uneasy. But but it's calm and I'm good. But if I have tumultuous water dreams, I wake up and usually there's some kind of stress going on in my life, and it always transfers to water dreams.
Mine I don't even know why I have them. They're very random.
Yeah.
Maybe there is something going in my life, but I don't know.
Well, it could just be general. I mean, even when I'm having a beautiful dream about the water, there's always this unease.
Last night, I got to be with an Italian gangster. It was very
in your dream?
Yes.
Interesting.
I tried so hard to go back to sleep when I woke up. Because I'm not attracted to men like that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I'm attracted to anymore. But I generally am not attracted to men with dark hair or mustaches or anything.
Right.
And this guy was totally like that.
Like, hey, have you been watching Sopranos clips?
No, but it was like that. It was really weird. And it was like I was in something thin and I was cold, and I was in my mind, I was with this person, and in my mind it was like he was courting me. It wasn't like somebody I knew.
Yeah.
And I was like, God, I wish I had like a blanket or a sweater or something. I'm freezing, you know. And the next thing I know, he had like a hotel robe, and I was like, did you? He's like, yeah, I bought this for you. And I was like, my God, thank you. And I'm like, well, it's kind of okay, whatever. Anyway, it was weird. It was weird. And like we were kissing and stuff, and I was like, wow, this is a trip. And then I woke up and I was like, why was I dreaming that? That was so weird. It was so random. Yeah, very strange. I've never had a dream about an Italian man.
Maybe you were just cold.
But why an Italian man? And he had like a lot of gold on and stuff.
I don't know.
You know, like he was real flossy.
Ching, ching, ching.
Yeah, I'm like that. And in a million lifetimes, I would not be with a man like that. Like,
that's
ever.
So funny. Oh my God, that is so funny. There was something else I wanted to tell you before we say goodbye, but
we had an awkward moment.
Didn't I tell you the awkward moment already?
Oh no, no, you didn't tell me on the show.
I had another awkward moment.
Oh no.
So a couple weeks ago, we went to the kitchen with our friends.
Yes.
Okay. So they try to get it's not like fancy anymore.
It's not stuffy.
It's not. And so they try to get you to like, woohoo. And everybody's clapping and not always, just in the beginning and all that stuff. So then there's a time where...
That reminds me of like Joe's Crab Shack or something.
No, it's not like that. It's cool. But so there's a part where the head chef leaves because he's wrapping up, I assume. And so then the sous come out and they kind of take over for the last half of the evening. Okay. The pastry chef and all that. And so we're getting ready to have dessert and stuff. And that's when they announce all of the celebrations that are going on, because most people go to a fancy restaurant and they're celebrating something.
It's my anniversary. It's a birthday.
So they read off everybody and everybody goes, oh, me, whatever.
Oh, you guys were there for anniversaries.
We were. And so, but before that, they're like, so our pastry chef is here and this is what he's prepared for you guys tonight. And we have like a whole host of pastries. Or whatever. And he goes, this is our pastry chef, Benny. And everybody's like, yay, you know, we're clapping or whatever. And then the crew starts going, Benny. And he's like, and he hates it.
Oh.
And so we're like, okay, cool. So then he's like, okay, so Benny. And then we're all clapping or whatever. And then a diner starts going, Benny. The whole place just busts out in raucous clapping and screaming, Benny. And so it's one of those times where you want someone to go, ha, like that, right?
Oh, no.
That was me.
Jamie?
I'm all, well, here's the thing. I had a gin and tonic. So why? And we had a good table. And so I'm like, I was trying to go, like I was trying to do that. And instead, I hope no one saw my mouth. All I know is my mouth wouldn't work. And I'm all, and then I stopped and I'm like, oh my God.
That went so badly.
It went so poorly.
In my mind, it was a good idea.
It was so
Did
awful.
anybody at your table look at you?
No, because they couldn't see me, thank God, because I had turned.
But Daryl didn't hear you? I mean,
they may have heard me. All I know is that
if I were Daryl, I would have like...
For all I know, they all looked at each other and went, don't give her any more gin.
You only had one?
No, two. But it
I was
going
to say, God.
No, we had tied one on for sure. But anyway, I was like, after it finished, I was like, oh my God, that was awful. I hope no one saw my mouth moving because I'm sure I looked really dumb.
Well, hopefully it was really loud and chaotic at that moment.
It was, but I will say when it ended, the trail of me going,
was still there.
Yeah. Horrible. I was so embarrassed. I don't think anyone noticed.
Oh
or
my
cared.
God, I'm so glad you did that. That's funny. I'm not glad you did it because I'm glad you were embarrassed. I just think it's funny that you had the thought to do it and then you did it, and it's like, well,
it just felt appropriate.
Of course, it fell flat because it was me.
I just wanted to go, and instead
like,
I went, like Tarzan. Like, what is this? God, it was horrible.
Oh my God.
It's just nice to know that
God, I would have done it. It would have been me.
You know, it's just nice to know that I will always be this way, and I will never not be a sophisticated woman of culture. I will always be this way.
I did do something awkward yesterday at my training. Always. I will never not do something to make myself look like a damn fool. So we had a speaker. We had a couple speakers at this training I was at yesterday, and one of them was a lobbyist, a political lobbyist. And he was asking, he's like, I'm very interactive. I ask questions of the audience. I might just call on you for some random reason, whatever. He's like, that's me. So he was asking about vacancy rates of, corporations and this new law that's a bill that's getting proposed. So he's like, does anybody know, are any of you at that level of a vacancy rate? Well, we were close. Mm-hmm. The vacancy rate was 15, where it would call for action, and we were at 12. And I'm like, well, we're at 12. It was dead quiet. Nobody was talking because nobody was. And
he's all right.
Yes. Like, well, thank you for letting me know that you're not at what I asked. Because I asked if you were at 15. And I'm like, I felt like such an idiot. And I'm like, God, why can't you just shut the fuck up? Like, why? Why can't you do it?
You can't help it.
I can't. I'm
I can't. You're like a moth to the flame. I can't help it.
True.
It's hilarious.
Oh my God. And the funny thing is like what I hate about me is that I will be in a social setting, great, funny, articulate, not being an idiot for like 90% of it. And then I will do something that everybody's like, well, all the things I was just thinking about her is like, that just went out the window. I'm at 12.
As I was saying, 15%.
Right?
That's funny.
It was embarrassing, but anyway,
it's
fine.
Well.
I recovered from it in the 30 seconds, but
yes,
I just thought to myself, I'm like, well, of course, yeah, you had to do it.
What are you gonna do?
You couldn't walk out of this thing flawless.
God forbid. They would think you were perfect. You can't do that. No,
so
Jesus.
Anyway, yeah.
Did you see? You remember? Chef Carla Hall, that woman. She was on Top Chef.
Hootie hoo.
Whatever. She was vegan for 5 minutes, and now
that was her thing.
Yeah, she's not anymore. But anyway,
no, the hootie hoo thing was her thing.
Oh, okay. Okay. You know what?
When she was on Top Chef,
I did like her on Top Chef. I just didn't think she fit in there because she was actually more than that. I thought she did much better after Top Chef.
Because she was
she had a great personality.
It was her personality. She was a great entertainer,
very kind.
Yeah. She was never a fantastic chef, but that's not why they put her on Top Chef anyway.
And honestly, she's doing so well now outside of that.
She's on Food Network everywhere.
I really enjoy her. But anyway, she was doing something over last week or a couple weeks. It must have been a while ago. And she was coming out on stage, and there was all these people lined up and clapping, and they looked like they were in like server, like all black. And she came out in this bright blue suit, and she looked fantastic. And she's running out on stage, and she posted this herself, by the way. This was not viral, like somebody grabbed it. She's running out on stage, and her one shoe caught on her other pant leg.
Oh, damn it.
She did a full tuck and roll.
Oh, fuck.
All the way across. Her little legs sitting straight up on her back.
Oh, God.
And it happened so fast that the people that were standing there on the stage waiting for her to come out to probably speak, they were like, no. But they weren't even responding yet. It happened so quickly.
Oh, God.
But she posted it in all slow-mo. So you can see everything.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, you know what? That is a woman after my own heart.
Yeah, for sure.
That is a woman who embraces it. I love that.
I mean, if you're on TV, you have the because you get away with nothing.
No,
when you're on TV,
nothing.
I would hate it. I couldn't do it.
No.
I mean, no, and they would never have me on TV.
I'm not cut out for it
because they'd be like, yeah, no, you can't be on TV. You just can't. Yeah, sorry.
Like, no.
There's not enough editing in the world to put you on TV.
We can do. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's so true. Oh my God, that's so funny.
Anyway, I was like, I really respect it. I respect that she owned it before anybody else could say anything.
Yeah, indeed. I do too. I used to really be in love with Valerie Bertinelli, but now I'm not so much.
Why?
Well, no, I'm still am, but the thing is like she just keeps going from one toxic relationship to another.
Is this new one toxic?
Yes.
He is.
According to people who are commenting on her posts.
Really?
Yeah. So
I thought that this was like the one. This is the one.
That's what she said about Tom Vitale.
Oh, he was so bad.
He was bad. And so now women are commenting on her post going like, this guy is a known misogynist. Like he has been, he talks shit about women forever.
Oh,
and you're with this guy. And she's like, I don't care what anybody says. You don't really know him. And I'm like, here we go.
Oh, no. You don't know what he's like when we're alone? Shit.
I'm like, here we go.
Oh, no. She needs therapy.
She really does.
Stop writing books. Go to a therapist.
Well, and what I hate about her narrative
and
is
obviously I'm making a lot of assumptions. I know nothing about their relationship.
So am I. I'm reading the comments because I didn't know who this person was.
I didn't either.
But I know he's been in the industry for a while.
Sure.
So the thing about is her narrative is love yourself, embrace yourself, accept yourself for who you are. You know, don't let the little, you know, the negatives in your head, you know, take over. But I'm like, but you keep going, you know, you just got out of a 10-year what you described as abusive relationship.
I know.
And in a year, now you're with the next guy.
You're madly in love.
I'm like, stop it. I'm like, is he love bombing you? And that's why he's like the best thing ever. I'm like, it's like all the fucking flags are there again. And I'm sorry.
Another Tom.
Yeah. I was like, just breathe a minute. I'm like,
I mean, I agree.
I don't know.
I will say this. I don't know a woman over 50 who would actively pursue a man.
Right? And especially in a year after a divorce.
But one that doesn't need a man for anything.
I'm seriously, like, she's successful. She's got money. I mean, like, why?
You don't have to move in with this guy.
Nothing.
You don't got to marry him.
Nothing.
You can just enjoy him for what he is then set him free.
Yeah, I really don't.
And I know that that's a very,
I guess
it's a really new way of looking at relationships. But a lot of it is, a lot of men are recognizing like, well, I better step up my game because women don't need men anymore. It's not the same. We don't need them to buy us a house. We don't need, I mean, collectively speaking,
I know
women can support themselves easily.
Yeah.
You know, so
very true.
When you have a very successful woman like Valerie Bertinelli, she does. I know. I think they moved in together. For the last thing I remember,
I think she has a ring and everything.
Okay,
it's stupid.
So to me, it's like, people can do whatever they want.
I know.
Live your best life.
I know.
But the issue is in a year from now when she's super close up camera and she's gonna be like, well, here I am,
and she's gonna be crying. Like, I know all of you told me so. I'm glad you guys love me still.
Yeah.
But you know.
And you know what? Fine.
Love is blind.
But the reality is that
and I'm healing.
I don't think we need to be on social media.
Honestly,
and do it.
I mean, I really don't either. I
have mad respect. JLo's not talking about her shit.
No, she really is not.
She's not. And I mean, apparently it's falling apart. I still don't believe it.
Well,
I'm still unsure.
I mean,
she's not wearing her ring anymore. I know that.
She had a party in the Hamptons over the weekend for her birthday.
She went to Italy by herself.
And he wasn't there. Yeah.
Yes.
He's spending a lot of time alone. He's definitely not in the spotlight right now. But I know he just finished filming. So
I don't really know what happened with that.
Ben has problems.
Of course he
Whether
does.
He's clean or not.
Well, that could have been it. That could be what happened.
Yeah, I honestly, and he's always said that he struggled with fame and
he does not like having paparazzi
like it,
in
and
his
she's
face.
the polar opposite. So I'm like, then why would you marry someone like that? You know, that loves the spotlight and loves the attention.
Unless she promised or he said, I don't care.
True.
Like if there was some kind of like, this is what broke us up last time, so we'll definitely not let it affect us.
Yeah.
And Ben's like, it affects me. Sorry.
Yeah,
it affects me.
I agree.
But there are a lot of couples in the entertainment world who aren't seen together. They just don't.
True.
There are some people who just simply aren't. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, I mean, I think it's a balance. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about Taylor and Travis lately because she's coming off of her tour soon and he's going back to...
For like a month. I think she's taking a month off.
Yeah, not much.
Because she's coming back to the U.S.
She is.
Yeah.
But that he's getting ready to start training camp.
He's already there.
Yeah, he's there like this week. And so... but honestly, the amount of times that they're truly photographed is not really that much.
No.
It's very purposeful when they do.
They do it.
Is my nose running? And it's very purposefully when they do. And it's usually you can tell it's kind of promotional because she's coming off stage at the tour and there he is. You know,
and they just walk off.
And that's pretty much it. But when they're not doing that,
you
don't see them.
Mm-mm.
So I think it's smart.
True.
Yeah.
It is smart.
Yeah, because that would be a lot of pressure. I did
see an interview with someone and they said that nothing is normal unless I'm inside my house.
I agree.
When they're famous. They're like, the second I walk out my door, it's not normal.
Yeah.
And so that's why they're so protective of when they're home.
And that's why they usually have these like ginormous ranches. Because
I saw someone say, they're like, I'm neighbors with Taylor Swift. And I'm like, why would you say that?
To be relevant.
Why would you say that? Like, why would you do that? Now she's going to move, you idiot.
Yeah. Taylor owns so many properties.
I know.
She's got houses all over the place.
Can you imagine going, I really love it here. I'm going to buy that house.
She does too.
I know. I wish I could do that too.
They said she owns like $150 million in property, and her houses are amazing.
That's different.
Yeah, she's got a
that's a different level.
She's got an apartment in Manhattan, and
she's selling it.
Is she?
Yes.
I wonder why.
Doesn't want it anymore, I guess.
Maybe she doesn't go to New York that much.
Oh God. All right. Well, everybody have a lovely week, and we will be back with a new show next time. Bye.